get ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, I'm Aiden. I'm currently 16 and I go to South Island School. How should I call you? Should I call you Mr. Chao? Or...
Call me Hing.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Hing.
Nice to meet you, Aiden.
So established in 1952, while Kwong grew from very humble beginnings to having a very widely known, very respected global name. What do you think is the reason for the company's success right now?
There are multiple factors of success. I don't know if we can define ourselves as being successful. Not sure. I think in some ways we are. If I were to reflect about our company history, I think people respect us in the industry because we stand for quality, because we always deliver what we promise. But we have to understand that for a company like us, which is multi-generation, I'm the third generation chairman of the company. It was a very different world where my grandfather started the company. And we are in a moment in time where a lot of changes are happening. So one has to be flexible, one has to be creative. We are now 70-odd years, so that was 20 years ago. And as you can see, that's a former chief executive, because he also comes from a shipping background. We're one of the founders of a Hong Kong Shipowners Association. That was on the occasion of their 60th anniversary.
I'd like to know, when you were my age, as I said, I'm 16, did you know what you wanted to do in the future, like career path-wise?
When I was 16, I had a lot of questions. Didn't really have too many answers. So I was just starting to become, how should I say, full of curiosity. And when I went to university, I ended up studying philosophy. So I would say when I was your age, didn't really know what I wanted to do, and just had a lot of curiosity and questions about the world.
So what do you think training in humanities, what do you think that means for the development of students?
If we take history example, my teacher says history is the discipline of discipline. How do we say this? Everything has a history. Whether we look at chemistry, whether we look at mathematics, linguistics, philosophy. And it's by understanding the evolution of discipline over time that makes you really understand that how the discipline comes about. So I would say, humanities give us appreciation of life, of human society as a whole.
I understand you started learning a lot of martial arts from the age of 8, including karate, Nanquan, Dongbeiquan, and you've mentioned that learning martial arts has changed your life quite a lot. I'm curious to know, how did it change your life? In what aspects?
When I was your age, I was an angry teenager, and martial arts gave me focus. It helped me channel my energy. When I felt uncertain, martial arts taught me not to panic. You don't always win. You're not always better, but you always come back to yourself and control your breathing, and you observe, and you try to gain possession of the situation.
Do you still practice martial arts to this day? Do you still practice regularly? Or what's your relationship with it nowadays?
I try to practice regularly because for me martial arts is a discipline. It's something that gives me an anchor. But I also teach, and my involvement with martial arts is more than that of a practitioner, because I write, I research, I publish, I organize conference, and I also turn martial arts into exhibitions and into creative endeavors. And one of the things that I'm working on is applying martial arts to the performing arts in Hong Kong. So actually I work very closely with some of the leading performing artists and performing art groups.
In addition to martial arts, I do understand there is another thing you're quite involved in, which is Orochen culture. Over the years, you've had a lot of interactions with them. You've lived even in Inner Mongolia for a while. So I'm curious to know, what is the current state of Orochen culture today?
Difficult to explain. Certain ways better, in certain ways very different. When I started going to Inner Mongolia in early 2000s, the elderly people that I met, they remain still quite vibrant. They were born in the forest, grew up in the forest, hunters, gatherers. They are much older now. Some of them no longer around. The generation that have taken over the mantle, they are better educated in certain ways. Some of them have gone to university, some of them have become leaders, thought leaders, researchers in university. So they have a fundamentally different approach to heritage conservation that's much more systematic, but at the same time, they haven't had the same type of exposure and experiences as the elderly generation. So it's very different, and that's just a nature of life, that we move on.
And speaking of, this intangible cultural heritage, a lot of young people now, the interest in it, they feel it's a bit disconnected or irrelevant from their own daily lives. So what would you do to help to encourage or improve their interest in helping to preserve this cultural heritage?
When we talk about intangible cultural heritage, a lot of it has to do with things which are embedded in society. Motif, for example. Did you know that is actually intangible cultural heritage in Hong Kong?
No, I didn't.
Well, exactly. Actually, there are many things that are still very much alive, vibrant, and that you participate in on a daily basis, on a regular basis. That is intangible cultural heritage. I mean, Hong Kong is one of the few places around the world where almost on any given day in the calendar, you have some sort of temple festival going, and every single one of them is intangible cultural heritage. So I would say intangible cultural heritage is something that we live and breathe, otherwise it wouldn't be intangible cultural heritage. So it's about awareness more than anything else, and I think awareness is a lot better today than it was 10 years ago.
So I recently did a debate on how there's a very big decline in humanities due to the rise in demand for AI experts, for IT experts. How do you think students nowadays should handle this gap that might exist between societal expectations of what is needed or what is wanted in the current day and age versus their own maybe personal interests and what they want to do in the future?
I think it encourages human beings to be even more authentic. Some philosophers have said that human life is a quest for authenticity. And the fact that we have AI, the fact that we have all these machines and technologies to help us imbibe and generate knowledge from what's already out there, also encourage us to be more original. This is written by a mathematician, engineer, and martial arts expert, Camillo Agrippa. Many people tend to think of the Renaissance as a time where the arts flourished. If we compare what was happening in Europe in the 16th century to China, the only moment in China where there was so much chaos was during the Warring States period. But that was a time when the arts and philosophy always flourished. So again, if you go to AI probably will just be able to do the data, give you the data, and produce a narrative based on people's research, but they will miss something very fundamental because no one's looked into it. In general, I would like to see a bit more fire in young people, particularly in Hong Kong. I think there's probably a sense of not knowing where to go. But sometimes it's that inner fire that pushes you to think, to imagine, to explore, to reach beyond what is visible or what is obvious.
And it's really cool to see how he balances all these different aspects of his life along with his responsibilities at work.
A little nervous, very polite, very methodical. I think Aiden came well prepared.
I think I've learned that it's very important to always have that fire in yourself, that drive to do better, and it's also very important to always remain true to yourself and true to what you believe in, your values, let it be like your own personal values or what you want to do as a person in the future.
Be authentic, be yourself, but I think we're also living in a time where we need to look beyond something that you're used to. Be brave, embrace changes.